Hello everyone, this is DavidViadel23 and welcome to the Mandrago's Cave. Today we are gonna be drawing One Piece chapter 1186 once more, okay? One of the characters that has been introduced recently is called Saint Manmayer. It's called as well Guru. I've seen different translations, so we are gonna draw basically the new guy, okay? This guy, we have this space more or less to draw today. This guy is one of those that I like. I like him because he is chunky. He looks like a little bit, square with long limbs. So he's one of those characters that I enjoy the most drawing here in the channel. Okay, so I'm gonna try to go very easy on him, basically drawing freely like Luffy. Okay, I'm trying to maybe caricaturize him a little bit more to make him maybe a little bit more in my style. Okay, so we are going to be analyzing 1186. 1186 is called Once More, and it is a very, very interesting chapter. We carry on with the situation that we have with this Imu appear with the flashback with Brook and everything, with the betrayal of Shuri, and we basically see when Brook arrives and everything is chaos, basically. Okay, there is a mysterious guy that is this Manmayer, God's Knight. Okay, confirmation that he's a God's Knight. We suggested this here already, so that's easy. We see a silhouette. That silhouette obviously is one of the Gorosei, Mars. We have seen other Goroseis intervene in other situations in the past, and it's time as well to do other characters that are not Saturn. Okay, I want to see, all of them doing something bad, so we can basically hate them and have a little bit of a storyline with them. Okay, because at the end of the day, all of them are bad guys, so we need to defeat them somehow. I still think that is gonna be for Dragon and his group to kind of give the final blow and eliminate them, because that's their kind of objective. Basically, they are the ones who mention this. So it's interesting. I'm curious to see how this is gonna happen. Okay, so the cover is just a very beautiful, very cute image of Kid Loki playing, drawing his stepmom, Hilda, and, there is some of the creatures that later he befriends in Hell, and on the bottom of the Yggdrasil tree, basically, the Adam tree, that are here, like the giant snake, the giant lion, the giant wolf, and all of these guys, okay? Very cute. So we start the episode with this attack in Asperia that is carrying on. The kingdom is in flames. If you see the type of structure that we have is pretty similar to Water 7, pretty similar to Dressrosa as well, like Arabasta. These are kingdoms, let's say, of the good guys that for whatever reason they already knew this type of issue with the flooding and everything, and they build up, going high. Okay, that is curious. My favorite thing in One Piece is the lore, okay, and I wanna know more and more about the lore, and this is one of those things, these coincidences that we have, that we see in different territories. I love it. So if you are as well a fan of world building, of all the lore that we have here in One Piece, feel free to express your love for these characteristics in the show more section down below, and we can always open conversation and theorize about what Oda is gonna be doing next, and what type of cities we may see next, and everything. By the looks of it, we suggested a couple of episodes ago that this is a Buster Call. Okay, this is not a Lulusia. This is not a Ohara. Well, this is more likely like a Ohara situation where we need to eliminate these people. We're gonna send a Buster Call in and destroy everything. We haven't seen any kind of vice admirals here. 5 vice admirals normally are sent with the Buster Call to destroy an island, like in Ohara. We haven't seen those guys here. Okay, they are irrelevant for this, but I think if this is an approach like Ohara, Oda would have explained or showcased that yes, these are the 5 almirants and this is very clear what it is. He didn't, but for me I think it's quite obvious that that's what is going on. The kingdom, the good guys, are protecting their people, and they are, you know, fighting back. I like it. It is very emotional, very critical situation for this country, and it reminds me a lot to the struggles with crocodile in Arabasta and the civil war in Arabasta as well, and it's a delicate, very delicate topic. It is beautifully drawn. I think Oda is a master when it comes the time of drawing massive battles or massive fights like Marineford, and this is beautifully drawn, and the stress that is giving you is quite real. Brook is in shock because if you remember, he's just standing in front of Shuri that she just killed basically the father Ruben, okay? And he's kind of in trance. The drawing there, the circles around his head, is that he is kind of in some sort of trance, trying to understand what is happening here. You see the image of this guy, Manmayer. We see the image of Shuri with white eyes, okay? We don't see the dual eyes, the heterochromy that she normally has, tiny horns. We see Mars, and obviously Brook is like, oh, you know, Aniki, call the medic and everything, so he's very stressed about it. We go into a mini flashback where obviously the king is dead, and we need to have this kind of image where Brook is losing everything. He's stressful, he's stressed about it, he's kind of going into this mentality of that we see always in One Piece. Before someone dies or after someone dies, we have a little bit of flashback, and then the shock comes for our main character, okay? We see all of them with the concept of Aniki, the big brother, like in Frankie family, in Frankie saga. And curiously, the silhouette of Imu that we haven't seen so far in this scene shows up. She or he pops from the shadows, from the flames of darkness that Mars has around him, and is looking at them. Okay, so you may be wondering why this is relevant now. I don't understand why are we stopping in this part of the story, what this has to do with all the Elbaf concept and everything. So basically, I think Oda is preparing the end. All of us here online speculated a lot of you know, we made a lot of theories about how this was gonna happen, how many sagas we are gonna have, if it's gonna be 2.5 or maybe 3, or one shorter one and one bigger one. If the time is right for what Oda suggested, like 5 years in time the story will finish, and that message was a couple of years ago, I think we are about to reach that point. Maybe in 1.5 or 2 tops, we're already there. If you think about and you calculate about you know, the time that we have, the episodes that we have left, we don't have enough time to do all these sagas, all these multiple sagas that we want to see in screen. So I think what Oda is trying to do here in Elbaf is a pastiche, a collage, a mix, okay, of different stories that all of them are connected to world government issues in One Piece world, the Tenryubito's issues in One Piece world, and what we're gonna see is a reason here for Brook to hate the world government, and a face-off that already happened. That's because it's called the episode Once Again, because Imu and Brook already met, but they didn't actually pay more attention to each other, because here we don't see that Brook is seeing Imu, so he is worried about, you know, his brother, his nakama, his friend. He's basically like a big brother, and he's not paying attention to whatever is going on here. So I think it is very interesting, the image of Imu, because here in Elbaf what we have seen is that Imu has removed from the picture first Brook and Usopp, one hit them, and then we carry on with the fighting, okay? So that is very interesting. So there is gonna be an interaction, a lot of darkness with Imu, a lot of nightmares, hell, Satan concept, evilness basically, and Brook is basically a ghost. Brook has control of souls through the music as well. So I think, because the Tot Musica concept in Red movie, this may be connected, and Imu may find some sort of proper rival in Brook. Brook is not scared of anything. He's been challenging Big Mom and everyone, stealing poneglyphs and everything. Surprisingly, Big Mom's saga with Brook was unexpected. The things that he does and how he moves around the territory and everything, and he gets the poneglyphs. That is very, very interesting. I wasn't expecting that, and here the same. I don't think anyone was thinking that, okay, yes, we are gonna see now an image where, you know, the most connected to Imu from the Straw Hats, it happens to be Brook. We didn't expect that, and if you say the contrary, it is impossible that you were thinking, oh, okay, maybe Brook is going to be connected to Imu, it's going to be one of the rivals. Impossible, because it's completely out of the blue. So, Imu is just there for a second, and then she disappears. And we have like a conversation where Shuri, Princess Shuri, is calling the whole time the king, like that guy, you know, this man, thinking never by his name. And basically, Brook straight away is ignoring her. He is pointing his sword to the enemy, to the Manmayer growth guy. And basically, he's saying, I know this girl from my whole life, you know, I was changing her nappies and everything. What have you done to her? Because she would never do this. She's transformed already. She's like a vampire, looking like a mini Satan or succubus concept. Pretty similar to Stosi. I'm gonna put my Stosi theory here because I suggest, like more than 1 year ago, that Stosi was gonna be the foreshadowing of Imu and Imu's powers, and it is correct. I think Stosi got her fruit through Vegapunk, and Vegapunk at some point was in contact with the Gurusei and took a sample of them, and when he replicated, because they are contaminated with Imu's power, when he replicated the power, he didn't replicate the power of, let's say, Saturn or Mars. He replicated the power of Imu. So Stosi is like a mini Imu, or like a capped Imu, okay? A weaker type of character, but the same concept. So we see these face-ups, and she says, I didn't know, and you never tell me, no one ever tell me, that I happen to be a Tenryubito. So, and this man is not my father. All of you have been lying to me. Obviously, there is a argument. Brook is very upset, like, what are you talking about? Doesn't need to be your blood father, you know, to be your father. Maybe Brook knew something already, and he never said it. This is not gonna be relevant for the story if Brook knew or didn't, because whatever he's gonna say, Gunko, that is Gunko nowadays, she's not gonna believe him, okay? She's not gonna believe him at all. So she's upset because originally, apparently, the world government requested her back, and the king said no, and the king lied about the slaves. So it is interesting. It is interesting. So she says, if I remove the king, there is no problem anymore, so we can just destroy the kingdom and just leave. And obviously Brook is worried about the kingdom falling in poverty, destruction, and everything. And it's a very tricky situation. I am sad for Brook. I've been saying it for a very long time, that whatever Oda has now in store for Brook is not a happy ending. His happy ending is finding Luffy and being with the Straw Hats. Up until that moment, I don't think he knew, because all of these things that are happening now, I don't think he knew the concept of happiness. You know, he had it up until now, when he's like young adult. All of this happens now in the flashback, and then he goes into misery. So the Manmayer guy, this guy is telling Brook, oh, I remember you. There was a kid with an afro among Candel's attendants. Okay, attendants. It can be in connection to when Brook started to learn from Candyl some years ago when he was a kid. It could be as well 15 years ago when they got married 1 year before and Brook was younger as well. We suggested here that Candyl was gonna be a bad guy. I'm gonna put the theory here so you can see. I didn't say she has to be a God's Knight, but I said she has to be world government. It could be God's Knight, it could be CP, let's say CP9, CP0, CP5, or it could be someone very powerful, you know, like a very important noble there. Nowadays, Gunko is Manmayer Gunko introduced, okay, in the story. So what is telling you, what Oda is telling you with this information is that obviously this guy and Gunko are related. So most likely Candyl is the sister of this guy or the daughter of this guy, and this guy has come to claim the kid, basically. He mentions that Brook wasn't allowed to come near him, okay? This is probably because, obviously, how Brook is special, because, you know, he's a straw hat and everything. He may have sensed the bad intentions, or he may have recognized this guy as God Knight or something and create an issue there. It's interesting. I like it how it's working, let's say. And I can't wait, as I said, I can't wait to know a little bit more about the whole story here, okay? We see that the man has the eyes like Gunko, this heterochromy, like one eye is normal and the other one is with rims, okay? They give the understanding that these mismatched eyes have some sort of power, that this guy wasn't able to awaken. He said to Imu that I cannot awaken it. I don't know what is going to be that power. It could be as well like the concept of reading poneglyphs, okay, like we have with the Memo Memonomi, with the three-eyed tribe and everything. And the Oda could always go with the idea that this is a kind of a beginning of the three-eye concept. I don't know, but this is a power that Gunko needs, that Imu needs, okay? We will see in what sense, okay? So the story continues where Imu is cutting him and saying you are talking too much, so they start to leave. There is another face-off, you know, Shuri is like, you know, I don't need you anymore. I need someone who is strong, who's gonna be able to take care of me and for me to get stronger as well. And these are the Terroritos, these are the God's Knights, so I'm just gonna leave. There is this moment, you know, Brook is crying a lot, having flashbacks of her while being a kid, having flashbacks of Aniki as well. And she uses one of Brook's signature attacks, basically, one stockade, basically. And the singing that they used to sing all the time in other episodes is, you know, in the background. And we have a stab through the head, okay? So Shuri stabs Brook through the head. In our bingo card here in the channel was that in this mini flashback, we were gonna see Brook's misery, we were gonna see Brook eating the fruit, and we were gonna see when Brook gets his scar on the head. And we've seen it, okay? We have seen now the scar is because she splits his head in two, basically. The silhouette is crazy, and then he faints. They leave, and there is like this small time skip where he awakens. He was sleeping, he was resting, he was trying to recover. And we see this image of all the guys, all the guys from the Royal Guard, basically, working under Brook, under Candyl. They are there taking care of him, and they don't want to tell him what happened. They said, oh, you just woke up, we don't want to tell you what happened. But he's like, yes, please tell me. So they confess that they lost, the kingdom is destroyed, they took Princess Shuri, and you know, they're in ruin. Basically, they say the truth to him. He's the captain at the end of the day, so they say the truth to him. And obviously he goes more and more into shock. He has these flashes of Shuri, the king, everything, and then, you know, massive cry like Chopper cry in his saga, massive cry like when Luffy loses his brother Ace. You know, the crisis that we need in all the characters in our crew for at the end of the day to be, let's say, Straw Hat, let's say, okay? We have all of these moments with them that are very sad, and we feel, I got a little bit emotional. I wasn't expecting this, even though you may not have felt like this way, because obviously we are familiar with the skeleton face of Brook, not with this one, and it may come as a shock, like, okay, it's just a guy crying, but the background here, the background concept is terrifying. So it affected me because I kind of, in my mind, I'm having the whole picture of what is going on in the background, and I know what's going to happen later as well, and regarding, the actions that we will need to take so we can, attempt to save Shuri and everything. So straight away we go out of this flashback, inside the flashback. Brook is shaking, is crying, is explaining everything. Well, obviously he was telling all of this to Nami, Jinbe, Usopp, the rest of the guys, no? And he's scared, he's shocked, he's upset, and he basically cries and says that he wants to save Princess Shuri. Maybe she's a victim, because she's having ins and outs, so she's kind of flipping in and flipping out of this dream, let's say, this mind control that she is under through Imu's power. And to be honest, maybe we are able to save her. I wanna say no. I wanna say we may see a Saturn type of situation. I know it's cruel and it's not very nice, but Brook's character has to suffer, sadly, and we have seen this so far. Okay, he has lost Candyl, he has lost the king, now he has lost Shuri. He needs to lose everything. We discussed it in the channel many times as well, and I find it very cruel but interesting, and it makes us feel, okay? It makes us feel regarding Brook. So we have one finger here, two, and then we will do here the third one like this, and the one that is like this, okay? That's the hand. A lot of people speculated if this was gonna be related to Sanji's family. It could have been, but we have seen now that is not the case. A lot of people speculated as well if this was gonna be someone connected to Shiryu, Ameno Shiryu from the Blackbeard Pirates. I said straight away no, because the guy is similar, but he's not the same. He's not looking like the same. The nose is different, the type of face is different and everything, so I didn't expect anything regarding connections with these two guys. But it could have been an avenue that Oda could have explored as well, okay? So we have all the teeth here. We need to do the nose. I just want to focus here to do the features of the face, okay? Here, a second. The eyes are dark, like this. Okay, and then the type of hat, very similar to the hat that Gunko is wearing, with the glasses and everything. So maybe what we can see here is that this is a brand of the family. All the members of the family, or all of the very strong members of the family, may wear this type of hat, okay? Like this, very tiny here on the top, on the sides, and like this, nice. Nice, okay? I'm happy with the drawing so far. I wanna know, what do you think about the episode, okay? We are almost analyzing, we are almost at the end of the analysis, okay? And I wanna know your opinion. It's been... Elbaf has been intense, I will say. I love the lore, and Oda is dropping a lot of information. I am loving it. This is something unexpected, because normally Oda always gives us a tiny bit of lore, not so much. So I'm very excited, I'm very happy, and I want to see more. It's true as well that Oda is taking a lot of breaks, but the man needs to take a little bit of a break, okay? If you think about it, a manga weekly, the amount of drawings you need to do, even if you have assistants helping you to do the backgrounds and things, and the amount of thinking for world building to make everything make sense, okay? It is crazy. It is very crazy. So we just need to be patient with him. health comes first and family comes first as well, so the man needs to as well be able to enjoy with his family and have a little bit of time off if he needs 1 week to rest or to prepare stuff. He needs as well to do it. Okay, so we need to be patient with him there. Let's do this part of the arm. Okay, so we see this image of Gunko, Princess Shuri, that is basically frozen in this ice cube that Loki and Ratatosk have done for capturing this character. Brook is crying and he's saying, I wanna save her. Very determined. He's, kneeling, begging, please lend me your strength, help me, please. Like Nico Robin, save me. I want to live. Those vibes, all of them go crazy. So we are gonna see these guys kicking hard now, attacking us full. Brook straight away leaves. I think Brook is the hero in the shadows type of concept. Okay, when we are talking about heroes, there is people who will directly go and start fighting someone, and there is other people who they will wait until the situation is kind of more let's say secure. There is other people like Sanji, for example, when we have the Enies lobby concept where he will leave in a note and not saying anything to anyone. And then we have this kind of hero in the shadows concept where Brook is gonna ask for help. They are gonna do whatever they can do, yes, but he's gonna go ahead and do it himself. I think this is a little bit of Brook in a way of saying, keep them busy because I'm gonna go for the big prize and I'm gonna try to do the main thing. I like it, it's interesting. We go back to the Walrus School. We haven't been there for a while. We see Luffy that it's eating a lot. He's 2000% recharged. He's full of food and he can feel it. He feels himself strong. He says that he's not gonna be losing against anyone. So that's cool. And straight away what happens is that he flies directly where Loki and Imu are. Imu is babbling about, 800 years ago, this happened already, once again. We took control of kids in different kingdoms, and because we have the control of the kids, the parents are, puppets of ours. We can do with them whatever we want to manipulate them. Basically, this is a extended version of Doflamingo, extended version of the marionette power there, basically. It's very cruel, I would say. It is very emu, I would say, and it needs to be like this because we want these guys to be completely wiped. We want the world government in One Piece to be completely destroyed, and we need to have more and more reasons every day to do this, okay? So if the hate is hyped, let's say there, all of us were in agreement that we need to defeat these bad guys, and no one is gonna be like, oh, maybe they are good, or maybe they have like a sad background like this and that. Not for these guys. These guys are gonna be full-on bad. So I like to see things like this. So all these 800 years ago comment for Loki is like, what are you talking about? You are using the children, you are a weakling, you are basically rubbish and trash, and I am just gonna destroy you. So he charges power to attack with the hammer. At the same time, we see the kids, we see Dory, Brogy, all of them, all of them distressed, and Luffy arrives flying as well, and we have a combo attack. Basically, what I understand with the drawing is that Loki was gonna hit, he was halfway already to hit Imu, but between the hole of the hammer and the arm muscle of Loki, Luffy flies through there and gives him a typical classic Gomu 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 no punch type of thing, full of haki. And Imu is like Enel with the face distorted, spitting blood and everything. So, what is the meaning of that? That we're gonna have like an epic battle now with Luffy and Imu and everything to the end, and this is the end of One Piece? No. many times here as well in the channel, I suggested that Imu can't lose here. She needs to have a win, so he's gonna take something from Luffy here. At the same time, because it's the introduction of the very bad guy, he can't lose, basically. Okay. What we are gonna see, in my opinion, here is let's say a retreat. A retreat where we haven't seen this yet. We haven't seen Imu having to retreat. We have seen something similar in Egghead, where the Haki burst made everyone fly back to Marejua. Imu is weak. Imu is a character that has been introduced as having some sort of problem, probably because his vessel time in this body, okay, is going to an end. So he needs to take over another vessel, that in this case is Gunko, and I think that's why he wants as well Bibi, because all of the concept of the blue hair, we speculated a lot here about the blue hair as well, and how Gunko was gonna have blue hair, and actually she did, and actually we've seen it in the anime this week, and she has actually blue hair as well. So this guy may have as well blue. Very interesting. Okay, so for now I think we have all of these arranged. All the drawing is arranged. We need to do a couple of lines here and there. I'm gonna erase a little bit the details from the face, okay, so at least the face is a little bit more clear. I want to leave most of the pencil. I love to leave the pencil around because this is traditional here in the channel. As you can see, traditional designs most of the time. Maybe at some point I record from the computer as well with software or something, digital drawings, but this is the type of content, let's say, for YouTube, type of video that I enjoy the most, when someone is doing something traditional, and how I enjoy it and I like it. I think it's nice if we go for something like this. So in terms of colors, okay, as you can see here at the bottom, socks and big shoes like Buggy, like a clown, okay, and I think he may be very colorful. I wanna say we are gonna use some of these guys, blue and red. The Manmayer family, in my opinion, I think is gonna be full of contrast, I would say. Okay, so let's do maybe blue hair. I think Candyl is gonna have blue hair, so I think his hair is gonna be purple. So we are gonna go for all of these, okay, like that. It's gonna have this kind of aura that Nico Robin's hair has, that it is black, but around it is like purple. So I think if we mix these two colors, because I think he's gonna be going for these two colors, in a perfect world, in my opinion, his hair is, I would say, blue. I would say blue. But and the outfit is maybe black. Like I would do it black because it's more ominous. It's more challenging if you are enemy that you need to face someone of this caliber having a black outfit. Like when you see Albert, that is king in Kaido's saga, he's scary. He's scary with all the blackness and everything. He's like a scary guy. And let's say Shiryu is like a scary guy as well, with the looks, with the smoking and everything. So that vibe, I think that vibe that you give Oda, that you give only to specific characters, I think I would love to see it in more. Now I was expecting a little bit more serious type of coloring for everything in general, like for example the brother of Shanks, Shamrock and everything, but I suspect that we are gonna go for more realistic, not realistic, but kind of colorful type of color, like a clown concept. So I guess we are gonna see the uniform most likely in red, but kind of wine type of red, that this is kind of dirty type of red, like maybe blood color, something like it could be even leather type of thing, but in red. I think that is what Oda is gonna go for in this character, like a mix of contraries where this guy may be very strong, okay, and at the same time he may be very silly. Like some characters like Summers, you see him from distance that he's a silly guy, okay, he's gonna be talking too much, doing this, doing that, and in his introduction, in the introduction of this guy, for Imu to say, hey, shut up because you are talking too much, that means that this guy, it is gonna be talking too much. So this God's Knight, it is a Brook 1-to-1, and we don't know where is this guy. When we are introduced to the God's Knights in this whole concept of Elbaf and everything, there are a couple of silhouettes that we haven't seen yet. This is like the Shichibukai. Oda, a couple of years ago when we started with all of this, may have drawn a type of silhouette that maybe now is not the same silhouette. Okay, we had this again, as I said it, with the Shichibukai. We see, so just so we have an example of what I'm trying to say with this, with the colors, you remember Who is Who from Kaido Saga as well, one of the Flying Six basically, like that. I think the outfit is gonna be pretty similar to that, and we're gonna have the contrast of reds and blues, in my opinion. I don't know why, but it's giving me the vibes of that, because the shoes, I would say because the shoes. So I want to do these ones, as I said, probably we do red like this, the contrasts, okay. Candyl may have been a servant who tried to be good, that's why the duality. Candyl is gonna be blue, okay? The hair is gonna be blue, the outfit is gonna be celeste kind of thing, like a sky blue kind of thing. She's gonna look very regal and everything. Maybe the Tenryubito who tried to be good and tried to actually be happy, but it didn't happen. And then if this is the brother or the father, I see a lot of oppression in this type of character. I see a lot of temperament. I see a lot of strictness in this guy and radicalism in this guy. So red or black suits him very well, I would say. Okay, I want to know your opinion as well. Okay, it's not just my saying here. This is a place to discuss all the theories that we may have and open conversation. We analyze characters here. I do character design, I do world building, I do storytelling, so that's why I'm talking through that aspect, okay, of the, let's say, concept, but obviously you can suggest other ideas as well, and we can discuss them, okay. So I think the inside of the cape, in my opinion, is gonna be as well purple, and the cape outside is gonna be dark blue, like this. We are gonna have these tiny details that, in my opinion, they should go yellow. It's always very classy and very nice. If something like this, like the shoulder packs like this, or the glasses, maybe goldy, like power, signs of power as well. Like here, all these kind of buttons in the jacket, like gold, like maybe he's gold for real. This character is one of those that, if I would have created this guy, I would have gone as well for rings, like rings, because he looks like someone as well very rich. Even if we have this idea of the God's Knights where all of them have this this flair of, you know, this fashion, this style and everything, there are some of them that look more rough, and some of them that they look more elegant, more classy. Like Shamrock looks very classy, for example. Summers looks more like whatever, you know. And Gunko as well looks more like a type of a tank girl type of character. Okay, inspired probably by that story of tank girl as well. So I like it. It's very interesting, and I'm curious to see. I'm hungry to see how all of this is gonna be. Let's paint this with dark blue. This is just the same blue, but I am pressing more. Now in a second we are gonna add the blacks, and we will paint the inside a little bit with black as well. The face, we do only tiny couple of details, okay, like this, the neck, the hands as well, like this. I like sometimes to leave some areas like this. I'm going for the colorful approach, as I said, because I think Oda is gonna go for the colorful approach. But if it was me drawing this, I would go for the outfit in black to make him more ominous, okay? So we are doing some sort of a seat for him because he's sitting introduced. When someone is this bad, this diabolical, let's say, and he is just chilling, this guy is dangerous. My bet for Brook's final rival in the story is that he fights Shiryu. Shiryu is not for Zoro. I'm gonna put my theory here. Shiryu is for Brook. And if this guy has a flair or has a connection with Shiryu, it could be interesting. I doubt that is gonna be the case, but it could be interesting. And at the same time, we have this remembrance, let's say, like, oh, you know, this remind me when Brook actually fought this other guy in this other story. It could be interesting, okay? So we have all this fluff that we are gonna add some details for the fluff. We're gonna do the goldy colors, like dirty, like this, some of this fluff. And then inside, we will do the shading, like this, okay? Like this. Sometimes I like to draw more precise, sometimes I like to draw more, you know, enjoying the drawing. I like sometimes to do like this, enjoying the drawings fast, maybe like this, creating, talking, enjoying the talk as well. Very, very nice episodes in Elbaf so far, as I said at the beginning. I am enjoying so much. I want to know your opinion. I want you to open conversation. There, you see, the red is gonna be dirty, like this. Like this, it's not gonna be clean in my opinion, like blood, like wine type of color, okay, like this, okay, like this, very, very nice. The Emu punch that is at the end of the story, as I said, this is, in my opinion, a way of weaken Emu, and Emu is gonna try to fight back, but she needs to be not summoned back, but she needs to be pulled back somehow, okay? I do not want to see the same, exactly the same thing that we have seen with the Gorosei in Vegapunk Saga, in Egghead. I don't want to see Luffy or Loki punching Emu together, and then because of that, they are able to send Emu back. I want more something like... he's losing the powers. He needs to do the transplant, like a transfusion of vessel, jump into another vessel, and she's weakening, and maybe Luffy is gonna punch, and before the punch touches the face, and then Emu disappears, and is back in the flower room in Pangaea. I would like that, in my opinion. How do you want to see this retreat? How do you want to see the bad guys escaping? By being forced by Luffy, by, you know, sheer luck that maybe they escaped, or you want Luffy to completely wipe them and completely defeat them? We cannot see Luffy defeating them yet, because this is not the final battle. We still need to do this final battle in Marejua. After Elbaf, in my opinion, the tree is gonna be cut by us and by the Cross Guild if they are in the way, and we are gonna fall on Marejua, and then the Marejua fight is gonna happen, and then after Marejua we are gonna jump into the Lovetail Saga type of thing, where it's a race. Blackbeard is there, Buggy is there, we are there, okay, other characters, all the school are there as well, you know, to assist, and that's gonna happen after we defeat Emu, because if you think about it, this is a pirate's story. This is a story where we need to fight pirates. We don't want to be fighting darkness and fighting demons and things. We want to fight pirates. So the final fight is gonna be against Blackbeard. I have that 100% sure, okay? If you are of another mind, you're thinking something different, please put it in the show more section. We can comment and we can discuss why you think that we are gonna go in another line. I am more than happy to discuss all of those details. Okay, I think I like it. Need to add a little bit more of fluff here. A little bit more of fluff like this, more darkness. The darkness of the fluff. Okay, here, like this. Okay, very, very nice. So how are we gonna destroy the ice? Probably we are gonna have to... well, we have a lot of characters that can destroy the ice. Jinbei could use some sort of his water powers to, you know, put the ice inside water. And Nami could make rain as well and try to break it. Usopp could use his 5-tone hammer or borrow Loki's hammer. I'm not joking, but he may end up with that hammer with him. And the hammer is in theory the only one who can just open that gate and liberate the person that is taken in there. Frankie could craft some sort of holder where they are gonna keep the ice alive and put her in the sunny as well to take her. I am under the suspicion, because the tragicness of Brook's stories, that Gunko may vanish and be consumed by Imu, okay? And that's a way of weakening her, weakening Imu, because Imu is not gonna be able to go into the battle. So that means the desperation. So he's gonna be desperate to find another vessel. And then when Bibi arrives to Elbaf, maybe that is the crisis, that when Bibi arrives to Elbaf, because she is with Morgans and with Wapol flying towards Luffy, when they arrive there to meet Luffy and Imu is escaping, it's gonna be, oh, this is the one I wanted, I'm gonna take her last minute and disappear. It is a very, very likely scenario that that's gonna happen. So now the crisis is like, yes, we kind of managed to get rid of them. They are not gonna be bothering Elba for a while, but they took Bibi, and we just seen it. So now, when the tree is gonna fall, all of us to Marijua. Because we are not gonna just abandon this storyline and do something else. You know what I mean? So I'm curious to see what's gonna happen there. So I would say we finish for today. Let's sign. Okay, I'm gonna sign here on the side. And this is DavidViadel23, DavidViadel23. You can say that you want, and this is the Mandrago's Cave. I hope you enjoyed the analysis. I hope you enjoyed the video. Feel free to like, subscribe, and all those things that we do here in YouTube. And I'll see you in the next one. Thank you very much. Bye.